evening. This is the Vsb TV 11 News for Thursday, March 27th. I'm Peter Cattell. Our top story, total room bookings in Bermuda's tourism industry are up 6.8% over the next 6 months compared with the previous 6 and are 12.2% up when compared with the last 12 months. In addition, group bookings for the next 6 months rose 8.2% over last year and are up 19.8% for the next 12 months versus last year. Individual bookings during the next 6 months are up 5.9% from last year and are up 7.8% for the next 12 months versus last year. That's the good news. The bad news is that air arrivals are down 0.2% for the first 2 months of 2014, and that as availability of airline seats increased 2% in the first 2 months of 2014, load factors, in fact, fell 1.8%. Independent Senator James Jardine brought yesterday's session of the Upper House to a close with an eloquent plea to the leaders of Bermuda to stop bickering among themselves and start putting the serious issues first.
Businesses and visitors to the island are watching us very closely. The age of social media means that whatever we say, whatever we do, can be communicated instantly, both inside and outside Bermuda, by either verbally or visually, or some combination of those. Events over the last month or so, both inside and out Parliament, have resulted in an unfortunate deluge of both written and verbal comments expressing anger, dismay, disappointment, and frustration from all sides, frankly. I've been approached by a number of people, and I'm sure we all have over the last number of weeks, expressing disappointment and great dismay about the behavior of management, workers, union bosses, and parliamentarians on both sides. Madam President, this sort of behavior does Bermuda no good as we seek to bring investment to this island and create jobs for Bermudians and see what we hope will be some small increase in our gross national product by the end of this year. We seem to be determined to hinder any chance of a recovery. And Madam President, I just can't understand why on this tiny island of 20 square miles we can't seem to get on better with each other. We seem to be constantly bickering about all sorts of issues rather than addressing the challenge that faces us right now, which is to create jobs for Bermudians, bring in more revenue for the government, and reduce our debt position, which worsens daily.
Working on cruise ships is appealing to many Bermudians, and this week alone there have been around 70 people who filled out applications at the job fair for the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. Many positions are available right on up to managerial posts. Minister of Home Affairs, Michael Fay, spoke to VSB News and elaborated on what the cruise line is looking for in potential employees.
They're really probing to find out what interests Bermudians have and how they can fit them into the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line product. They're very interested in anyone who speaks more than one language, for example, which is, so if you have more than one language skill, you'll come down and you're looking for something new, a new experience, learn something, travel, it's quite an exciting opportunity because they will train you, and as well, obviously, that helps if you come back to Bermuda to say, look, I've worked on a cruise ship. It's not easy work, but it's a lot of fun work. So I encourage people to come down and register and get interviewed.
So if they did register and interview, how soon could they sort of foresee a realistic job in the future?
Quite quickly is my understanding. I know that when we had similar with Norwegian cruise lines, they pretty much started right in the summer and some almost immediately. So it depends obviously on what position you're looking for and what they have available, but generally you can start very quickly. Yeah.
And how has this whole opportunity been received so far?
My understanding, very well. I haven't yet had the opportunity to actually speak to the individuals, but the reports I'm getting from the presenters are very impressed with the quality of the candidates, and that actually obviously makes us very pleased indeed that we're having quality candidates come forward. Because sometimes you feel when you can put on some of these, people may just not show up. They're not really putting that effort in. From understanding that effort is being put in, they're interviewing well, so that obviously bodes well for the individual, bodes well for Bermuda as well, so it's quite exciting.
Bermuda College and Miami University have signed a memorandum of understanding to offer a Master's of Education with emphasis on special education. Bermuda College President Dr. Dorenda Green, accompanied by Dr. Llewellyn Simmons, Director of Special Education at the college, signed the document with Dr. Kevin Bush of Miami University.
The Special Education Online Hybrid Program provides a flexible instructional framework to address the desire and need for certified and licensed special education teachers in Bermuda. Through shared ownership and joint administration of the program, Miami faculty will benefit from the opportunity to engage in special education in the Bermudian context, while providing a strong mentoring component, tight integration between course and fieldwork, and tremendous potential for establishing active learning communities focused on shaping special education reform in Bermuda.
When we think in terms of what special education requires with a new policy that will be coming on board, it is so timely because we are now looking to match the personnel with the great demand in special ed with the qualifications. And this partnership with the Miami University is an extended partnership.
The partnerships are really good timing right now with Bermuda being poised at this point as far as the creation and dissemination of policy on special ed. And of course our online hybrid program is really nice and flexible because it provides us education without the need for Bermudians to travel to the U.S.
Bermuda has a small but highly professional cadre of motorboat instructors, thanks to the joint efforts of the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club and the Bermuda Yachting Association. And among the best is veteran sailor Paul Doughty. He will be on hand on Sunday, April 13th, when the Bermuda Water Safety Council holds its first boat handling seminar from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. He explained to Vsb News' Brian Darby what the instructors have already achieved.
We've processed now, in about a year and a half, 200-odd people.
Really?
Yeah. And the course that's offered is a powerboat level 2, and it covers all the basics, including coastal navigation, basic, understanding buoyage systems, rules of the road, man overboard drills, a lot of safety stuff, weather, how to use the radio properly, and we're going to be doing some of this stuff at the seminar. We have Bermuda Harbor Radio coming along as well. Marine Police are coming. So we're going to really spread this out. We're going to go out to the marine stores to see if they can offer something basic mechanic, how you check your engine, that kind of thing.
What do we do about their manners and the power they have got under their hands and the abuse of?
Well, you can only... to me, the primary thing is to educate and create greater awareness. In teaching powerboating, it's very interesting because you can take somebody who's very experienced, get in a planing hull with them, and say, okay, take the boat on the plane. Okay, now take the boat off the plane. What didn't you do? I didn't do anything wrong. Yes, you did. You didn't look behind you before you went on the plane, and you didn't look behind you before you came off the plane. So there are basic tidy-up things that even the knowledgeable Bermudians in particular can benefit from. And the courses that we offer at the club, if you come to me and I go, oh, Brian, you want to get your powerboat level 2? Okay, well, you've been boating for 30 years. It'll take you 4 hours. Here's the syllabus. Go and study it. Come back and see me. Now, Mr. Smith, who's just moved to the island and has no boating experience and has bought a 30-foot boat, he's going to have to take 16 hours of instruction and assessment to get it right.
Still ahead is Che with the weather preview.
Thanks, Peter. Let's take a look at the Doppler radar. Well, you can see there's not much going on right now except for cold. Will this cold continue all the way through the weekend? I'll have more coming up later.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb Tv 11.
You can count on us.
Purdue fresh whole chicken's only $2.19 per pound. Save 50 cents on imported romaine lettuce, just $2.99 each. All varieties of Minute Maid juice coolers, only $6.29 for a package of 10. Champion seedless raisins just $3.59 for a 12-ounce box. For a healthy treat, all varieties of Chobani yogurt only $1.69 for a 6-ounce tub. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
Copyfax is Bermuda's authorized Samsung dealer. See a large range of Samsung color and black and white multifunctional machines, printers, scanners, faxes, and copiers, and all net workable. Copyfax has Samsung machines suitable for home, office, or any size business in an A4 format, taking up less room than other similar equipment. And replacement supplies are in stock for all of their Samsung products. Affordable shopping at Copyfax Limited, where service comes first.
April is Environmental Awareness Month, and Vsb Tv 11 is airing relevant documentaries exploring environmental issues concerning all of us on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. for the month of April. Sponsored by Auto Solutions, Roll With Us, Velco, The Power to Save, and Lindo's, Why Go Anyplace Else? Environmental Awareness Month on Vsb Tv 11.
The second annual Deep Bay Music Festival takes place this Sunday at the Pembroke Community Center, starting at 4 p.m. And as organizer Dale Butler reveals, you could not wish for a more varied program of locally produced music.
We have really tried to capture Bermuda traditions through music and food as well in the Deep Bay Music Festival, now in its second year, with the grand opening of a king and a queen, 2 bands, the Giant Steps Band and the Masterpiece Band. We're very lucky to have the AFB Salsa Cha-Cha International Dancers. They're quite a team, along with Alka Maranzana and Veronica Lally Darrell. They will be joined by Bermuda's most premier Calypsonian, Stan Lord Necktie. So it's an afternoon at the Pembroke Community Club at 4 o'clock on Sunday, March the 30th, that is full of local tradition and provides an opportunity for people to hear live music.
They include tourists.
Yes, last year we were very lucky to have about 10 or 15 tourists, thanks to our hotels and guest houses promoting local music, and that is a major part of the culture of Bermuda as well, in trying to ensure that our locals mingle more with our tourists, and they really enjoyed themselves.
Now, you're going to take a sabbatical soon to start writing your next play. But is this the final kind of entrepreneurial thing you're going to do?
Well, it depends. People are often asking for more local music, so obviously if this is a success, we will be encouraged, especially with a new band, the Masterpiece Band, to look at other opportunities. One of the major problems we have in Bermuda is trying to find venues and then trying to find sponsors. I do intend to perhaps go in the direction of writing more plays. I've finished the second one, which will be produced next year, called The Second Last Supper, and already we have a long list of people who are interested in being in that, and I'm doing a third play for October, based on the life of an outstanding local musician. I'll make more announcements about that later, and then another one about Bermuda's wedding tradition. So that's sort of my current interest.
Now, here's the Reinsurance Business Report, presented by Bermuda Re.
Bermuda Reinsurance News, brought to you by Bermuda Re. Bermuda-based Wilton Re is to be acquired by Canada Pension Plan Investment Board for $1.8 billion as the Canadian fund manager looks to develop its presence in the insurance space. Canada Pension is the largest pension fund in Canada and has indicated that the acquisition will help to complement the fund's long-term investment strategy. Wilton Re provides insurance and reinsurance solutions to the U.S. life insurance market, and Canada Pension indicated that it intends to further strengthen the firm's offering in the market. Allied World has made new appointments in Bermuda, a number of which were promotions, as the company continues to cement its reputation on the island. Ari Haziza, Sandy Wu, Benoit Duval, Lita Salters, Najee Woods, Gareth Tavares, Damian Rickramage, Melody Johnson, Sue Cabral, Jamie Piotto, and Rachel Ashford have all had their strong work recognized by the company. Bermuda runoff acquirers Catalina are buying Sparta Insurance and intend to enter part of its business into runoff and sell its alternative market business to Arch Insurance. Catalina will acquire Sparta from cash at hand and a senior debt facility. The transaction, which is subject to regulatory approval, is expected to close in the third quarter of 2014. Bermuda-based Hamilton Re has promoted Peter Skirl to Chief Risk Officer as the company continues to build an impressive management bench. Skirl was a founding member of Hamilton Re's management team and brings more than 17 years industry experience to the role. Having worked at Partner Re Lancashire and most recently Q Re, he has considerable experience across insurance and reinsurance lines. That's Bermuda Reinsurance News, brought to you by Bermuda Re.
Now, here is a look at the daily markets, presented by Bias.
Equity markets in the U.S. declined as investors took profits on winners, while currencies moved on economic releases. In the U.S., stocks continued their decline, with banks and technology companies falling the most as investors rotate money out of the bull market's biggest winners. The S&P 500 closed at 1,849, down 0.19%. 11,642 shares of Bank of Butterfield traded hands, with the stock price unchanged at $1.99. Other Bermuda-related stocks listed in the U.S. closed lower. German stocks were little changed as investors weighed U.S. data on economic growth, jobless benefit claims, and home sales. The DAX rose 0.03% to close at 9,451. Chinese stocks fell, sending the benchmark index to its biggest loss in a week, after industrial profit growth slowed and benchmark money market rates jumped. The Shanghai index dropped 0.83% at the end of trading. Brazilian stocks rose the most in 6 months after a survey showed President Dilma's approval rating dropped before October elections. The Vsb gained 3.35% to close at 49,574. The gap in yields between U.S. Treasuries narrowed as traders speculated economic growth to be robust enough for the Fed to raise interest rates next year. The 10-year yield declined 2 basis points as of the last trade. The euro fell to a 3-week low against the pound on speculation the European Central Bank will ease monetary policy, while positive UK retail sales indicated the Bank of England may increase interest rates. And that was a look at the daily markets, presented by Bias.
We live in a beautiful environment. One way to help keep it that way is to always remember your reusable grocery bag. If you forgot, you can still do your part in saving our planet by buying a Marketplace green bag for only $1.19. Not only are they good for groceries, but they're handy for many other uses. Always have your bags inside of you, or put your grocery list in one so that you don't forget your reusable bags. You and the Marketplace are helping to save the environment by choosing to reuse.
For much more furniture, visit Bermuda's only Ashley Furniture Gallery. Big Savings Zone. You want the best? Forget the rest. For all your furniture needs, shop Big Savings Zone and support your local retailers. Have you ever ordered something online expecting it to be a certain price, but when it arrives it ends up being a whole lot more? Beware of those unexpected hidden fees. That never happens at Big Savings Zone. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Depression is a serious problem that affects many people and can cause them to become a shell of the person they once were. One woman who knows this all too well is Leji Lassa, who will be giving a Christian Science lecture this Friday on depression, how to cure it, and what signs to look out for to be able to tell if you or someone you love is suffering from depression. The lecture's theme is a life with freedom, purpose, and happiness. Vsb News spoke with Ms. Lassa on what some of the highlights of her lecture will be.
There are over 125 million people throughout the world suffering from depression, diagnosed, but even more not diagnosed. So I will be talking about solutions. What steps can you take so that you can really find a way out of depression. How can you find a way about loving yourself? Start loving yourself, and the roots of that. Where does it come from? It's not only it's not only a personal will, but it's something that's much higher, that's really out of you. It's this power, this divine power that helps you and empowers you to get out of it.
For people out there watching, what are some telltale signs that they can look for, either with someone they love or within themselves, that might point in the direction that they are suffering from depression?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because, for example, throughout my teenage years, I think nobody ever noticed that I was depressed, because I was just per se a very quiet child or teenager. So I think it's very important when you see that someone that you love is not socializing very much, it's not talking so much with people, and it's alone all the time, and not having a smile all the time on their face. That's a very good sign. And it's important that you started talking to this person or to this loved one and try to find out what is going on in their mind.
The lecture is free and will take place Friday at Charity's House at 7 p.m. People are invited to attend to glean more knowledge about depression and its effect on people's lives. The sports report is next, after the break.
Save $2 on red ripe California strawberries, just $4.99 for a 1-pound package. Certified Angus beef sirloin tip steaks, only $5.99 per pound. All varieties of Betty Crocker cookie mix, just $3.39 for a 17.5-ounce bag. Mott's apple juice, only $4.59 for a 64-ounce plastic bottle. Bluebonnet margarine sticks, just $1.59 for a 1-pound box. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
It's crunch time in the Bermuda Football Association's 2013-2014 season, with the Premier League title, relegation, and the prestigious FA Challenge Cup on the line. The Dandytown Hornets and North Village Rams are very much involved in the hunt for silverware. More from the BFA's Chairman of Competitions Committee, Calvin Blankendale.
Yes, it's a great end of season for all the football fans, no matter which club you support, but especially for those who are supporting Dandytown and North Village at the moment. It's coming down to the final game of the season, where Dandytown will host Derbyshire Cougars at BAA, the match being moved from St. John's to BAA due to the field being closed for cricket, and then North Village will host Wolves at home. It's a simple equation. The winner takes the spoils, takes everything. As long as Dandytown wins, they are the champion. If they lose and Village win, then Village is the champion. And I also believe if Dandytown draws and Village ends up winning, I think they will edge out Dandytown in goal difference. But the game still has to be open, and just looking for all the fans to come out and support their teams.
And then there's the relegation situation.
Yes, relegation, another exciting one. Normally, before the season's finished, we all know what's going to happen, but again, it's coming down to the final game of the season. St. David's look like they have already headed back to the first division, and then we have Wolves and Rangers battling it out in their respective matches. The interesting twist where their game was ended purely due to the weather, and they both received a point, and now they're battling it out to see who can stay up and who's actually going to go down to the first division.
And the season finale, the FA Cup, again, Hornets-Rams.
Yes, it might be a psychological edge on the team that actually gets to lift the BFA Premier Division title, because they will then face their opponents who also try to win the league and are trying to win the league. So between Dandytown and North Village, they can either have a great end of season by winning 2 trophies, or they can share the spoils one apiece, or they can end up with nothing. So, both teams and supporters and fans alike, it's just a very exciting time. We also have the Masters knockout final, so all the old boys, the fans will come out and see the players from the olden days. And then we also have the next generation, the PDL knockout, that will be played that day on April the 6th at the National Sports Center. So the next 2 weeks is going to be very interesting and entertaining for all of football on the island.
Choose to be healthy, Bermuda. Get out there and exercise with a sunscreen, hat, and shirt on every day. Eat healthy, don't smoke, and check your brown spots once a month to detect skin cancer early. Anything growing darker bigger, jagged borders, needs to be checked. Wear your sunscreen, hat, and shirt every day. Be sun safe, Bermuda.
Well, look, someone needs to tell winter to stop being a jerk. This is spring's time of year, and the sun needs to come out. I'm Jay Barker, and this is your weather. Let's take a look at our weather shot for today. Today's shot taken by Dennis Whitehead this afternoon, and while this shows a lovely day of sun and blue waters, it was awful this morning. Cold and windy and miserable. One of the coldest days I think I've seen in Bermuda in quite a while. But it did get sunny, and it did get a lot nicer, and Dennis Whitehead, great shot taken this afternoon. Thanks for sending that in. Our highs and lows. Now there you go. Our high temperature, 61 degrees. So if you tell me it wasn't cold, you were lying. Our low temperature, though, 55 degrees at 4 a.m. this morning. Ouch, that is awful. Currently, we're looking at 59 degrees, humidity 55%, winds out of the north at 13 knots, and the barometric pressure is unsteady at 30.38 inches. Rainfall. So far for March, we've seen 4.16 inches. Usually we see about 4.4 inches for the entire month. Total so far, 18.47 inches, way up on that normal of 14.18 inches. So if you didn't buy a rain suit this year, didn't come out ahead in that one. Let's take a look at our satellite map. Winds have finally decreased to moderate as this high pressure you see here is going to start building in over the area. So temperatures should warm up through the weekend before a cold front approaches on Sunday. Now this will increase winds to strong on Sunday afternoon, with showers unfortunately developing on later on. That front should then pass by on Monday morning, bringing gusts and a risk of thunderstorms. In the gateway cities, we're looking at rain and 64 degrees in Atlanta. Boston, it'll be mostly cloudy and 53. 68 and rain in Charlotte. Partly cloudy and 59 in London. Miami, mostly cloudy, 80 degrees. 56 and rain in New York. Orlando, possible rain and 81. Philadelphia, rain and 60 degrees. 45 and heavy rain in Toronto. And rain and 62 in Washington. For tonight, we're looking at a low temperature of around 58, so the worst looks like it has passed. Mostly cloudy, winds out of the north at 10 to 15 knots, and then they'll gradually move to the northeast overnight. For tomorrow, sunny breaks, high of around only 64 degrees, so make sure you bring your coat. Winds out of the east at 10 to 25 knots, and then they will veer out of the east-southeast. For mariners tonight, there is a beautiful pink small craft warning in effect. Seas inside the reef, 2 to 4 feet. Seas outside the reef, 10 to 18 feet. On the north shore, you can really see it. Sea temperature, 69 degrees. For mariners tomorrow, there is a small craft warning until the afternoon. Seas inside the reef, 2 to 4 feet. Seas outside the reef, 6 to 13 feet. Still high. High tide is at 7:12 a.m. and low tide, 1:34 p.m. Take a look at our 5-day forecast. On Friday, there'll be sunny breaks, high of around 64. Saturday, sunny periods, 1 or 2 showers in the early morning, high of around 68. Sunday, mostly cloudy, a few showers increasing overnight. Look back to 71 degrees. Monday, cloudy, showers, a risk of thunder early, increasing afternoon, high of 70. And Tuesday, mostly cloudy, 1 or 2 morning showers, drops back down to 67. I'd like to thank the Bermuda Weather Service for all their help. And a shout out to all my girls down at the In Motion School of Dance, working hard for Earth Hour that's coming up this Saturday. They're always working hard. Go out and see them for sure. I'm Che, and I'll see you again real soon.
Thanks for tuning in to the TV 11 News. Good night.
Peter Cattell's attire courtesy of A.S. Cooper & Sons Limited.
Vsb TV 11, Bermuda.